Leeds group. I've known John for quite a few years. He's a very inspirational gentleman. He does wonderful lace knitting. His absolute love is Shetland lace. Unfortunately, he's not got any of that with him today. I hope to interview him again at some future point and show you some of his Shetland lace knitting. But today he has got with him some Sankaha gloves, and we're just going to chat away and learn a bit about wonderful John. I'm sure you'll love him just as much as I do. He's a proper Yorkshireman, and he's even worn his flat cap in honour of this occasion. So, John, very pleased to see you. Can you tell us how you started knitting? How did you get into knitting?
When I was a 5-year-old child, I got a blister on my heel and it went septic. So I had to have penicillin injections every day. So I knitted till I was probably about 12, and then it got a little bit much, so I gave up. When I got married, my wife started knitting me the cardigan. Every wife has to knit her husband a cardigan. So after 6 months, and she'd done about 4 inches of the back, I said, I'll do the sleeves and the front, and I still ended up knitting most of the back. And because my tension's different to hers, there was always a line across the back of my cardigan, and I got really into it again, and I started knitting on a regular basis.
Did you have children?
When the 2 boys came along, I knitted for them.
Fantastic.
I knitted dresses for the wife, and I got a morning, and I finished this the night before, so I'll wear this to the copy morning. And we were doing very poor at the copy morning, so I said, oh, give us a treble, there's a flower show over there, I'll go over. I went over to sell coffee in the flower show, and somebody says, oh, I like your waistcoat. I says, oh, I knitted it myself, I finished it yesterday. She says, we've got a class for knitting, do you want to put it in? I says, well, I've worn it. She says, go on, put it in. So I got highly commended.
Oh, well done.
So, first time. So I did another one, a bit more intricate, again fair eye, and I took that along, and I got a first. Then I did an Aran sweater, and again, and I really, a lot of the local shows around Leeds, I used to go and enter my knitting, and because of that I got involved with gardening, and now I'm a national judge for 2 societies, and I'm very involved with gardening and putting stands on at Harrogate Spring Show and everything. And of course, I take my knitting with me. The lace knitting I take on holiday with me, because it's nice to sit on the beach in a deck chair, I actually use circular needles for my nails, going backwards and forwards.
Yes.
Or if it's a shawl. Now, when I do a shawl, I prefer to knit the edging first and work inwards. Because most knitters will know that after they've been knitting something for a fair length of time, they're getting a bit fed up. Well, if you knit the shawl from the centre outwards, at the period that you're starting to get fed up, it's...
because you're sort of presenting back to the passers-by. It looks really negative from where I'm sitting.
It starts actually from the outside going inwards. When you're getting fed up with it, it starts growing quick.
Yes.
If you do it the other way, as you're getting fed up, and it you know, when you start getting up to 900 stitches, it takes quite a long, you know, you're 15 minutes a row and sometimes longer.
Yes.
Because with most of the lace knitting, it's a fancy row and a plain row.
Yes.
So the plain row you fly down, but what happens is you're about 6 inches short of finishing it, and you're well into 800s, and you go, oh, fed with it, and you put it down. Whereas the other way,
if you're going inwards, rows are getting shorter.
You know, you get to the stage where it only takes 5 minutes to do 2 rows.
More to the height is half the shawl when you're going inwards.
Yeah. No, but by doing the
Yeah.
outwards, inwards.
Yeah.
See, when you're fed up of it, it goes quick.
Yes, but also when you've only done a quarter of the distance upwards,
Yeah.
you've done half the shore.
Yeah,
So that does
Yeah.
have to be.
you know.
That makes sense, yes.
Yeah.
Fantastic,
So
yes.
I like that. And when the other thing I like knitting, ganses, and
Aye.
I do them in the round.
Is this one of yours then? Is this?
Yeah, this is one of mine. This is actually a sample of ganses. It's all different patterns on the top.
Oh yeah.
And it's done in two-ply. And took forever.
And is this your own pattern? Have you used
No,
it?
this is out of that same book that cost me 20 pence.
Really?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've done it a few times. I normally do the bottom different
Aye.
every time. But this is some wool I had, and they want enough for it.
Yeah.
That's why it's two-tone.
I see. Yes.
Yeah.
Is this proper Gansey wool? Because it's a special thickness, isn't it? Gansey wool.
It's two-ply.
Oh yeah.
Gansey wool is 5-ply,
Yes.
but it tends to be expensive. If
So
you
it's somewhere
actually
between a 4-ply fingering and a DK, double
Yeah.
knitting yarn.
Because if you
Between
buy
them, yeah.
if you buy actually the wool that's specially for Gansey,
Right.
it's I think £28 a comb, and you need 3 combs to do a Gansey.
It's very heavy as well, isn't
Yeah,
it? I've
and
come
it
across
is.
it. It creates a very heavy
It's
fabric.
very heavy.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it lasts forever. And of course, the other thing is you're knitting on such fine needles
Yes.
that it's virtually windproof.
Yes. Which of course would work for Ganseys because they're mostly coastal garments, aren't they?
Well,
mostly.
believe it or not, there used to be inland Ganseys. What we forget
Penelope
about.
Hemingway's done a book about that recently.
Yeah.
Inland river Ganseys.
Yeah, but because when you think about it, the ships went all the way up. We tend to forget that all the big rivers that were open, they could go up. And I think it's a bit of a policy that every sea fishing village had its own. Like anything else, they might have had originally, but people would get fed up and they'd see something on another one and implement that. And the idea of them having the name or something so they could tell who it wasn't so they'd be recognised if they were swept overboard and drowned. It was so they could recognise their Ganseys because so many were stolen. I don't know if you know that or not. Yeah.
No, Penelope says in her book, because I've read quite a bit of it, this book, I only recently got it, that it's a fallacy, that it's a myth that they used to be able to recognise sailors from the Ganseys.
Yeah.
What she does say though is that any knitter would be able to recognise their own work,
Yeah.
which makes sense. Yes.
Yeah, well, you can tell your own.
Of course.
I know the Guild have some Ganseys, but they're actually short of Ganseys, proper Ganseys. Yeah. They're an interesting thing to knit as well. The pattern
Do you know I've never done one?
You never done?
I've never done a Gansey,
Well,
no.
I like this particular pattern because there's no gusset.
Uh-huh.
Because I had a pattern, you did a gusset and you've got this great big thing hanging down here and
Yes.
it looked odd.
Yes.
But this one, I think it's because the armhole is larger, which allows you to stretch without it pulling,
Yes.
you know, whereas the other one, it was purely for when you were lifting things. Yeah. But a good Gansey with quality wool will last forever. I've been asked to knit stuff for people and I've said, oh, get some wool and giving you a pattern. And when they brought it, I've turned around and said, I'm sorry, I can't knit that. You know, I don't knit with 50p 100 gram balls. It ain't worth the effort. You know what I mean? Because people don't realise that, as with anything else, you get what you pay for. You know, and I don't like pure wool.
Same here.
But
Yarn snob, John.
But again,
Yorkshire lad, you shouldn't be a yarn snob.
yeah,
Have you been to the Bradford little spinning stand up there that's got some pure wool extremely inexpensively. Looks like he's really trying to shift it.
All right, we'll go and have a look.
He's on a corner stand.
Can we have a look at your...
Oh, yeah. It's all B. First stand on corner. As you
Yes.
go through the door.
No.
Isn't it? Ah, there's one there. Yeah.
Could we have a look at your gloves, John?
Yeah. Oh, these are some mittens. Now, these aren't done in wool. These are...
Acrylic?
No.
It's easy.
Kid alpaca and silk.
Oh, yes.
Now, I don't
Yes,
mind knitting
lovely.
again
Yes.
because the feel of that is really good.
Yes.
Now, these are done with, I've no idea. I don't think it's wool. There is some wool in it. But
I'm going to try changing the camera around.
I had
There we go.
and,
You take control now.
and this lady said, I've got some wool, do you want it? Well, I never say no because you don't know
Of
what you're going
course
to get.
not, no.
So she says,
And
call
because you're from Yorkshire.
she says, call at my house on your way home. When I got to this house, there's all these bin liner bags in the driveway. 9 bin liner bags of coals of wool.
John's got the money bag.
No idea.
I had it.
I'll find it.
Oh, I've taken it. Actually, I took it off to pass over to somebody.
Excuse this short interruption in the broadcast while we find the money bag. We're at the Knitting and Crochet Guild stand where we're supposed to be helping out,
I
but it's
took it
quiet
off.
enough for us to not have to.
So I took all this wool home and I was sorting it out in my garage. And the wife says, why's the car out? The garage says, oh, I'm sorting some wool out. So she went into the garage, came storming into the house, said, I am not amused. What are you going to do with all that? The following week...
I shall have to be very patient with your knitting habit.
Yeah. The following week, this same woman says, I've got some more if you want it. And I thought, I'd dare take another 9 bags home. Anyway, I went through it all, and a lot of it was very fine stuff, lace machine knitting. So a lot of it's been passed on, and then a lot of it's been used for knitting things for charity, blankets and stuff.
Yes.
But anything that I thought, that's a nice colour, feels alright, I've still got a fair bit left. And this is 2 of the colours I've got, which I thought went really well together.
And what's this pattern then? It's Sankahar, isn't it?
Sanka, yeah, it's this Sanqua, which comes from Scotland,
Yes.
and there's Yorkshire Dales, which is very similar.
Yes.
The Sanqua tends to be alternate patterns.
Just try and get
Let's find a better one. I'll do it for...
Here we go with my netness.
That tends to be Yorkshire Dales because it's the same pattern all the way through.
All right. I didn't know that distinction. Right.
Well, it tends to be.
Right,
It isn't
okay.
always. And whereas this Sanqua, it alternates.
Oh, I see. Yes.
7 weeks off. Everybody thinks it's for holidays so people can go on holidays. They never went on holiday. Think about it. I first started work and I worked for a wholesale warehouse, and they had an annual trip every year to Scarborough on a steam locomotive when I was at that age. And I went on this, first I went on it, and there was a 23-year-old lad that I was friends with, and it was the first time he'd ever been on a train, and it was the first time he'd ever been to the coast.
Amazing.
And nowadays, you know, she went over, and of course, one of the technicians said, in case anything goes wrong, we'll do a dummy run on it now. And of course, she beat the American all ends up, and it never went out.
Terrible.
It never went out.
Apologies to any Americans knitting, watching. We love you anyway. Despite our strong sense of competition.
It never went out.
No, what a shame.
In fact, she were watching me knitting, and I'd done about 120 stitches I managed on this speed thing.
Yes.
And she said, if you hold your wool a bit different, hold your needles a little bit different, you'll be faster.
Aye.
So I says, no. She says, you will. You might be even as much as over this 3 minutes, 20 stitches faster. So I altered my grip and I knitted for a couple of hours, and she says, have another go at it. And sure enough, I went from 122 to 140.
Fantastic, well done.
Yeah, and it was just how
And
I was holding
have
my
you
knee.
carried on with that needle hold since?
Well, what it is...
Was it the cottage style knitting?
No, what it was, I'll just show you. I used to hold my knitting with my thumb under...
Hang on, I'm going to turn the camera around because I don't know how to do it. John said something about... how to switch the camera around, that's better.
See, I used to knit with my thumb underneath like that.
That's how a lot of people are taught to knit past.
Yeah.
That's not how I do it.
No,
But go on, yeah.
but what happens is, when you get further along the row, you're stopping it, passing it. Because you've got to go, and you're pushing it out of the way. You put your thumb over the top,
Yes.
as you actually knit your stitch,
Yes.
and you do your finger work,
Yes.
this thumb is actually pulling it away.
That's more like I knit. I don't
Yeah.
have my thumb under the needle.
No, but, and again, the other thing she says is, if you hold the last stitch, when you pull it up, it's stopping the next stitch pulling with it. So you can get really fast, because you're stopping it. If you did it fast without that, you're pulling the next stitch off. And I found that really works. Yeah.
Well, John, thank you so much. It's been wonderful talking to you.
When you
Thank you very much for agreeing to appear on our video.
when you put